2, 3, sound check, sound check. Hello! Hi everyone! And welcome to Mental Monday, the big friendly conversation about mental health. Happy Christmas! It is December 25th, Christmas Day, and we're here for the next half an hour to talk to you about mental health, obviously. We're going to start off with waffling on for a couple of minutes to allow people to join. There's not really that many health rules here other than to keep it away from triggering topics, such as like self-harm, suicide, things like that. Just keep it not triggering, because this isn't the best place to get support. So if you are not feeling too well, go and seek help. Obviously, Samaritans 116 123 and Childline if you're under 18 0800 11 11. It's great you can join me and spend your Christmas day with me. So you would have seen on the website already what we're going to talk about today. I'm just going to bring that up in front of me. I want you to get involved. It's there's a kind of a bit of a script, but that's just to kind of more prompting. There's not actually a script for this. So if you do want to get involved at any point during the show, you can reach me in the chat, or you can reach me via email, jake@jakesymons.com. And you can also reach me on Twitter @JakeusWrites. Come say hello, come speak to me. I would really like to hear from you tonight and hear how your Christmas has been, really. Mine's been alright, bit quiet. Obviously, no family gathering as there kind of usually is, so a bit more subdued, but still a lot of fun, a lot of time for myself. I think I've taken a lot of time kind of the evening off, and I haven't been working obviously today, so it's been quite enjoyable in that regard, to actually kind of take a step back, because you know, it's been such a rush for me. I'm trying to start a new business from September to about, now, which is obviously only a few months in, so it's quite, it's still kind of the early rush where there's everything to do, and there's like endless things that I could be doing. So I'm actually kind of enforcing myself to take a step back and say, actually, you know, day off. Take some time for yourself. You need it, even if you don't feel like you need it. And we're going to kind of come on to self-care, and I did touch on this yesterday as well, if you watched us on Christmas Eve. If you did watch us on Christmas Eve, and you are back for more, or if you watched us on the 21st, which was our bonus episode on Monday, welcome back. So I just want to quickly kind of run through some of the key things we've already discussed. This will only be a couple of minutes. These are just things that I thought were valuable. Things that I personally have kind of used, because, as I say, I normally do these Mental Mondays for me, to kind of help myself by expressing how I'm feeling, what I'm going through, sharing in that with someone, i.e. you, and just taking that time to enjoy a moment to just be open and be honest. That's why it's also unscripted, because that means, you know, I say what I'm thinking more, and there's not really something to read, which is nice. And I just like, you know, sitting in front of the camera and just talking about mental health. I find that really valuable to me. So we've started talking about, obviously, Tier 4 coming in, how we're kind of dealing with anxiety, how bad anxiety is. The 21st was a more subdued episode. I used the word depressive because it kind of was. And it was just accepting that today wouldn't be a normal Christmas day. And, you know, it's alright to air those negative emotions. Like, the main thing I got from that episode on Monday was that, you know, it's alright to air negative emotions. It's alright to express them. You don't, just because, you know, Christmas is meant to be a joyous time, etc., you don't always have to subdue those emotions. You can talk about them and be open with them. And I find that really valuable, to actually, kind of, even for myself, to open up more about negative emotions, not just, you know, say I'm okay when there's the positive emotions, but then, you know, say nothing when there's negative emotions, and actually talking about both of them. And I think that's really, really valuable for my mental health, and just opening up about that kind of stuff and having those discussions, about all emotions, because all emotions matter. I mean, what we're going through matters, whether it's good, whether it's bad. everything we go through actually matters, and talking about all those emotions, I just feel like talk about them more. That would be kind of my tip from that episode. And then Christmas Eve, we spoke about social anxiety, obviously gathering around the dinner table or on Zoom virtually, and kind of having that family dynamic, having that kind of pressure to act in a certain way if that affected you, speaking or not speaking to family and friends over Christmas, and kind of what's actually been happening in the world. So we kind of spoke about self-care and checking in on people, because obviously if you haven't checked in on people, there's still time. Obviously it wasn't, a normal Christmas, and there's still people that may, not be feeling that great right now. Having got through the day, it may have been a stressful day. There could have been arguments with family, or they could just be an absence of arguments with people just feeling a bit lonely. So if you do know anyone in that position, I do encourage you to reach out and just to speak to them and just check in, really. So that was the message yesterday. Then we also spoke about how, it was okay to however you've got through today is okay. And, even if it hasn't been the day you wanted or the day you planned for, if you've got through the day and you're watching this now, which means you've nearly got through Christmas Day here in the UK, you've done alright. And even if you don't think you have, by the fact you've got through today, that is doing okay. That is doing alright. And that is something to feel proud of and something to hold on to. That, we've all got through today in whatever way we needed to. And that's good. So, that is a whistle-stop tour of basically what's happened over previous episodes. As I say, all of that will be on the website after. I just thought, as it is Christmas Day, the big event, I would just kind of run through that to talk about kind of what we've discussed, and just what I really... the things I'm picking up from these episodes, and the kind of things that I'm kind of learning, I guess, as well, and what I'm realising as well. So today we were going to talk about self-care, and I mean, this is a perfect time. It's 7 in the evening here in the UK, and it's a perfect time if you've had all your family gatherings and everyone's off Zoom and it's all kind of winding down for the evening, to take some time for self-care. Because chances are you've had a stressful day. I mean, even if that's stressing out over cooking the turkey, you've probably had a stressful day. And it's alright, because now there's time to take for self-care. So after this, I'll probably be texting a few of my friends, playing some iMessage games, just kind of chilling out with my mates, virtually of course, because that's the world we live in now. And just come off stream and just relax a bit. That's what I'm going to do after this. And what are you going to do? Do let me know. What have you done today? Let me know that as well. I'm really actually like hearing from you, just to even have a natter to. So yeah, you can reach me. As I say, if you can reach me on other channels as well, linked in the description. If you do not want me to read your message out, though I don't normally unless it's in the chat, can you actually just remind me in case I accidentally read it out? Although if it's not during the show, I won't read it out or use it. Just thought I'd just mention that. So, yeah. So what do you do for self-care? That's probably where I'd start with this, because, you probably do something for self-care, even if you don't think you are. So, if you take some time for yourself, but it's not like you get the stereotypical self-care activities. So, I mean, you may have had many leaflets, and I'm sure we've all seen them in the mental health community. All the leaflets you get, especially if you're with CAMS. CAMS is children's mental health, so it's for under 18s. So if you're part of CAMS, they give you a load of leaflets. And list all these coping strategies, like listen to music, draw, write, etc. And you may think of those as self-care activities, but there's other stuff as well, like taking a walk, That's what I do for self-care. Just get out a bit, just have a walk, put some music on, and just kind of just relax and, just kind of chill out. I mean, there's not really it's a walk. There's not really a way of describing it, but it does help. And, I mean, even like a nice bubble bath if you do that. I don't personally, but maybe that helps you. And so we do come to the stereotypical, why don't you do some colouring in, or just watch Netflix. But even if you're watching Netflix, I mean, I would still class that as self-care. I class Netflix as self-care because it's you're taking time for yourself and just getting buried in something that's not like your life. And it's, I mean, even that is self-care. So, yeah, I just thought I'd just start with that because self-care doesn't have to be, going to a spa, which, you can't do in Tier 4, I don't think. Does that come under professional services? Let me know if that's wrong, but I don't think they're open anyway. But, it doesn't have to be the self-care that you read about. And, I mean, there's kind of, if you look on my Instagram feed, if you look on when I look on Instagram, in my feed rather, not like my Instagram, which I haven't updated in a year, I see like this self-care culture of everyone, and they're all kind of white and green pictures and all creams and pastels. And there's like this whole feed where it's, having lots of plants around and scents and smells and, all of that. And yeah, that can help for some. But, self-care can be a bit more basic. And I definitely think, especially in what I've previously written about and what I've done videos on self-care, I'm more of a kind of back to basics when it comes to self-care. I'm more if you can get up and, have breakfast, that's kind of self-care. I mean, it's kind of also food, which is nice. I do eat a lot. But it still counts. And whatever you do to actually take that time for yourself, even if it's not something that, you've gone out of your way to do, I would say would still count as self-care. So that's kind of the first thing, is that when we have a discussion about self-care, it doesn't have to be immediately something you run away from. It can be something that you can, it doesn't have to be something to be daunted by, thinking it's this whole extravagant culture you see on Instagram. It can just be very basic things in your everyday life that actually, just help you, or just like get you in a good mood, or, I mean, not even that, just like, get you a little bit motivated, a little bit better. And I'm all about like those little wins and how little things matter. And I think that, those little wins we need to appreciate more kind of glass half full, if you will. But just appreciating kind of what we've got and taking it step by step. I mean, obviously there are lots and lots and lots of different ways people can, do self-care. I mean, it's whatever you feel you need to do. But don't feel you need to do something or follow a particular kind of regime of self-care. So there's a lot of posts of like, the 30 days of self-care, which can be helpful because it gives you something to achieve. And I do like those posts, but you don't have to do self-care based on, what you read, what you see. I went through a phase where, this was when I was 16 and I first started my mental health blog, JakeSymons.com. And I I was reading all this stuff about self-care, and I was like, you know, that I have to do it. I just felt like, you know, that is the way forward. This is what everyone does. Everyone was talking about, you know, colouring in and, you know, having all this stuff. But actually, I didn't enjoy what I was doing. I was just doing it because other people were doing it, and therefore I thought it would work for me too. But I think the biggest thing about self-care is that you have to actually like what you're doing. You're doing something to take time for yourself to make you feel better. So it's kind of pointless if it doesn't actually make you feel better. So, I mean, that seemed obvious, but it wasn't to me. Because, and I'm sure a lot of you feel the same way, when you're bombarded with kind of coping strategies, techniques, kind of processes to follow, and you're given all this stuff and you consume all this stuff, especially on like #mental-health, and you consume all of this, it kind of makes you feel that you're not recovering as much as others, and you need to do what others are doing to kind of recover and to get to where they are. And then you feel bad because then you see people doing things. So, you know, going out to a massive party, and your anxiety is telling you inside, I could never do that. I could never go out and do that. But that's okay. So yes, they're helpful posts, and I do like, and I have also produced some of these posts. But they kind of create a situation where, you know, you've got too much information, you've got too many ideas, and that kind of stops you coming up with ideas on your own. It stopped me. I mean, I just put Spotify on, write something down, take a walk, play Minecraft, etc. And that does it for me. That's time out of my day where I can chill, be myself, not be kind of connected to anyone else in some way, and just wallow and enjoy it for a bit. And you know, there's nothing wrong with that. If that's like your self-care routine, then that's what you do. Obviously, if that's not working, and you're in a position where you need self-care, or you're not taking enough self-care, and then you try something different, try it out, experiment. But don't worry if you can't have like a 30-minute self-care session, or do self-care 7 days a week for your 7 days of self-care challenge, etc. I mean, that's not... I think when you try and become too military about it, and try and order self-care, for me it loses its edge, it loses what it's designed to do, which is make me feel better, because I'm feeling like it's just something else in my routine, it's just something else I have to do, and then it just feels obligatory, and it doesn't really help. So just try, because self-care is so important, and it is time you have to take. I mean, I didn't think I needed self-care. I was like, I just you know, work all the time, which I am doing a lot now, and I'm starting to feel the effects of it. And I think last Monday was a good example of what happened when I'm overworked. But it's okay to just take that time however you want, but take the time. And, you know, don't knock self-care as being a fad, or, you know, being something that's for kind of, you know, the hippies. It's something that we all need to do, and we all have to take the time. So yeah, I thought I would just air that. That's kind of how I approach it. What do you think? Any thoughts on that? Do let me know. I'm going to check Twitter as well. That's actually taken 20 minutes. I normally, because I've got my studio dashboard up, so I see that we're live, and about the 10-15 minute mark, it kind of gets a bit, as you know, it gets a bit quiet. But I think today that was quite good. I feel like, I just made all that up on the spot, but that's how I feel about it. So, why not say it? So, yeah, I'm just checking Twitter. There's no messages from anyone. It's been great wishing everyone a happy Christmas on Twitter. If I haven't got you yet, just give me an @ so I can get that sent to you. I was going through my notifications this morning, so hopefully I got to everyone. But if I missed you off the list, I do want to wish you a happy Christmas, personally. So give me an @ and I will reply to you. But yeah. Another thing I might as well mention, while we're on the subject of taking time for self-care, is if you're watching this and you're in a good place, or you're watching this just because you're curious, or you're interested, or you know someone that has mental health, but you don't actually go through it yourself, etc., you can help others take self-care. And the reason why I don't say to, help others with self-care if you're taking self-care time for yourself, because sometimes, especially mental health advocates, I see this a lot on Twitter, we all care about other people so deeply because we can really feel what they feel because we've been through it and we know what it's like. And, we've been through a lot of the processes, we've experienced a lot of the systems, such as CAMS, and we're just kind of one big family, really. And sometimes you've got to take some time for yourself as well as helping everyone else. So you can't just help everyone else and run on empty, because then you're helping no one. So before kind of doing anything when it comes to mental health, be in a good place. And I don't mean that like you've got to be recovered, or that if you're suffering low mental health, you can't be a valuable part of the community. That's not what I'm saying at all. Of course, I think that personally, having people that can speak to you from a position of personal experience, I have bounced off and I have found my most valuable conversations that I've ever had with people in the mental health community, those that have suffered previously low mental health or were suffering at the time. Those have been some of the best conversations that I have had. And that has helped me massively and still does, because you know what each other are going through. You can bounce off them, you can understand what they're saying, and you can see the way they're saying it. And that, for me, just not only helps me have friends, which, we all need, but just creates such, strong relationships with people. And I know a lot of you on Twitter, especially, feel the same way as well, when it comes to the relationships you have in the mental health community. So, if you are in a good place, and you feel you are able to offer up some self-care to someone else, you could maybe ring them, have a chat. I mean, most of the stuff is kind of non-applicable in Tier 4, such as going around for a cup of tea, but maybe you could do the shopping or leave something nice at the doorstep, some cookies, if you do Christmas cookies. But just, if you know people that aren't going through a good time, just be there for them. But don't kind of overbear that to the point where it starts affecting your own mental health as well. So make sure you keep that in mind. Don't just go on a kind of helping mission, but then don't actually take any time for yourself, because that's important too, because, you know, we've all got to support each other, but there's an element of it where we have to support ourselves, and we have to take time for self-care, and we have to make the decisions that we need to make in order to prioritise our own mental health. And yeah, that would be kind of a final thought. Is there anything else anyone wants to talk about before I round off today's Mental Monday? I'm just having a quick look at Twitter. It doesn't look like it, which is great, because that means it is time to end today. It's been great being here. I've really enjoyed it. I feel like, you know, self-care is a massive part of, you know, how I get through the day, really. How I get through kind of what I'm feeling, what I'm thinking, what I talk about a lot. I think most of the time on the blog, on these Mental Mondays, I'm either banging on about self-care or recovery. And I feel like they're both so interlinked. And yeah, it was great being able to share that with you, because that's kind of how I do self-care. That's kind of how I approach it and how I talk about it. And I feel like I got everything out, and I'm really happy that I had this time to do that. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for coming here, taking time out of your Christmas day to spend with Mental Monday, the big friendly conversation about mental health. It's been great speaking with you. We are back tomorrow, which is Saturday the 26th, which is Boxing Day. We will be speaking about kind of New Year's plans, what we're hoping for in a better 2021, any resolutions that you're going to make, although, you know, who knows what will happen. And we're just going to talk about some more about what kind of we've spoke about this year. So our last episode of Mental Monday for the year is on the 28th. That's the last Mental Monday of the year, because we're back to our every 2 weeks. So last Monday was a bonus episode. So on the 2 week cycle, it's back on the 28th. And so Boxing Day instead, I thought, because it's the Christmas specials, we would have a reflection of my mental health content. And just kind of what I've learned through the year, what the year's shown me, just kind of a year-end reflection, really. I thought that would be quite good. Just for something different format, more reflective, more personal. And I feel like it'd be good to just kind of show a bit more of a whole life side, because often when I come on camera and I come and speak here, I'm very I'm focused on one thing. So today was self-care, yesterday was social anxiety, day before was tears, lockdowns, mental health, restrictions. It's very niche, and it's very world focused. So it's normally focusing on the news or current events or what's kind of going on in the world. But, you know, sometimes we can bring that in and we can say, right, this is what I am, this is who I am, this is what I'm going through. You know, maybe that'll be a bit more relatable. So let me know if there is anything you want to talk about. It's a bit of an open house, I guess. So all thoughts, any conversations welcome. So yeah, it would be nice to have more of a kind of conversational one, rather than me just nattering on about self-care. We can actually have more of a conversation and really get to know each other, because, you know, I want to be part of the mental health community, and, you know, there are so many people in the mental health community that are a real joy to speak to, and they really can feel they can really express feelings in a way that is just so relatable. So yeah, I really want to be in the mental health community. I would say I'm kind of am sitting on the sidelines. I need to get involved more, and that's something that I'm going to be prioritising in 2021. But we'll be talking about all of that tomorrow. So for now, thank you for joining me. I've been Jake Symons. You can reach me on Twitter at JakeusWrites, my website jakesymons.com, Instagram Jake Symons. It's all under the same name. So you can find me hopefully quite easily. You can message me anytime. If you message me, can you let me know if it's okay to use it in Mental Monday? Because if you message me, as I say, when Mental Monday is not online, so if you just text me on Twitter, say tonight, I am going to just presume that's going to be confidential. Unless you want it to be used, I may ask you if I can use it, if I think it's something that would be valuable. Or we can just keep it between us, and it can just be someone, I can just be another person you can talk to if you need to. So there we go. That is the end of today's episode. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I'm looking forward to kind of this reflection, and I hope you can join me for it. If you can't, have a happy Christmas, what's left of it, and a very happy New Year as well. And I hope everyone has a much better 2021 than we've had this year. Thank you.